The Galactic Council chamber was a marvel of interstellar engineering, a vast hall filled with representatives from every corner of the known universe. Each species brought with them their unique traditions, histories, and biological quirks. The air was thick with an artificial atmosphere designed to accommodate the diverse respiratory needs of the attendees, and the walls shimmered with holographic projections of distant galaxies. It was a place where the unity of countless civilizations was celebrated, and where humans, one of the newest members, often found themselves the center of attention, sometimes to their discomfort. The human ambassador, Emma Williams, stood at the center of the chamber, her polished boots gleaming under the soft luminescence of the council's light orbs. Emma had grown accustomed to the constant questions about humanity. Every detail of human life seemed to fascinate these aliens, from their complex languages to their seemingly fragile bodies that could adapt to wildly varying environments. But today the topic of discussion was one she hadn't anticipated: shoes. The inquiry had come from Thalreen, a serpentine species whose shimmering scales reflected a kaleidoscope of colors. Their representative, High Counselor Zorogzaroth, had slithered forward, his voice a deep, resonant hum. "Ambassador Williams," he began, "we have observed your kind's peculiar habit of encasing your lower extremities in what appears to be a form of synthetic armor. We find this practice perplexing." A ripple of agreement passed through the chamber. Representatives from species that floated, glided, or slithered nodded or clicked their appendages in concurrence. For them, the idea of covering one's limbs seemed absurd. Most alien species present had evolved on planets with controlled environments or smooth, unthreatening terrains. To their understanding, humans' constant reliance on shoes was an unnecessary encumbrance, a sign of weakness, or perhaps even vanity. Emma hesitated for a moment, gauging the room. She had faced challenges in the council before, but explaining something as mundane as footwear felt oddly daunting. Smiling diplomatically, she addressed the assembly. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council, I appreciate your curiosity. Shoes are, indeed, a peculiar human invention, but their purpose is deeply rooted in our history and survival." This response seemed to only deepen the intrigue. A low murmur spread through the chamber, punctuated by the clicking mandibles of the insectoid Silat delegation and the ultrasonic whistles of the Vren, whose sound waves caused the chamber walls to momentarily shimmer. The chairperson, an ancient and wise member of the crystalline Tethrace species, raised a gleaming appendage to silence the room. "Ambassador Williams," the chairperson intoned, "we request a demonstration to better understand this practice. Perhaps you might remove this." "Shoe for us?" Emma suppressed a sigh. This was not the first time her species had been asked to perform for the council's curiosity, and she knew it wouldn't be the last. She nodded and bent down, unzipping one of her boots and sliding it off her foot. A collective gasp echoed through the chamber as her bare foot came into view. For many species, the sight of a human's exposed skin, particularly on such a delicate and unarmored area, was shocking. To them, it seemed a glaring vulnerability, one that no other species would dare display. Zorath leaned forward, his scales rippling with curiosity. "Fascinating," he said, his voice almost reverent. "But why wear such protective coverings on an otherwise sturdy appendage? Surely your feet are sufficient for walking as ours are for slithering or gliding." Emma straightened, holding the boot in her hand as she prepared to explain. "On Earth, our home planet, the terrain is far from uniform. We encounter sharp rocks, searing sands, freezing snow, and countless other hazards. But more importantly, Earth is teeming with life, most of it microscopic, and much of it dangerous." "Dangerous?" The question came from Eskar of the Silat delegation, her segmented body twitching in surprise. "Microscopic life? Surely such creatures pose no threat to a species as advanced as yours." Emma smiled, her expression tinged with both pride and caution. "On Earth, microorganisms are not just life forms, they are masters of survival. Bacteria, fungi, and parasites exist in such abundance that they can invade even the smallest cut or scratch. Without protection, a simple walk through the wrong terrain can lead to infections that our immune systems cannot always combat." The chamber grew quiet as the weight of her words sank in. Many species in the council had evolved in environments with far less microbial diversity than Earth, and the idea of being constantly surrounded by invisible threats was unsettling. Emma could see the unease in their postures, the way their bodies shifted or their appendages twitched. It was a reaction she had seen before when explaining Earth's harsher realities to alien audiences. "To give you an example," Emma continued, There are parasitic worms that can burrow through the skin of a human foot if left unprotected. These creatures can cause severe illness and, in some cases, even death. In swampy areas, fungi thrive, attacking the skin and causing painful, debilitating conditions. And then there are bacteria, tiny organisms that multiply rapidly and can turn a minor injury into a life-threatening situation in days. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of reactions. Some species emitted sounds of disbelief, while others shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The crystalline chairperson raised a hand for order once more. "Ambassador, are you suggesting that your footwear is a matter of survival rather than comfort?" "Precisely," Emma replied. "Shoes are a barrier between us and the unseen dangers of our world. They allow us to explore diverse environments, from deserts to jungles, without falling prey to the microorganisms and hazards that thrive there. They are a testament to humanity's adaptability and our ability to innovate in response to challenges." High Counselor Zorath's scales shimmered with a contemplative hue. "If these microorganisms are so deadly, why has your species not eradicated them or evolved beyond their reach?" Emma's smile faltered slightly, and her tone grew more serious. "Because, Honorable Zorath, Earth's ecosystems are built on a delicate balance. Many of these microorganisms are not just threats, they are also essential to life. Some bacteria help us digest food, others enrich our soil, and still others control populations of harmful species. To destroy them would be to unravel the very fabric of our planet's biosphere. So, we coexist, protecting ourselves where necessary but understanding that we are part of a larger, interconnected web of life." The chamber fell silent. Emma could see the realization dawning on the faces of the council members. What had initially seemed like a trivial human quirk now appeared as a profound survival strategy, a reflection of Earth's unique challenges and the ingenuity of its inhabitants. The chairperson leaned forward, their crystalline form glinting in the light. "Ambassador Williams, your explanation sheds new light on the resilience and resourcefulness of your species. We shall adjourn for now, but we request that you prepare a more detailed account of Earth's microbial ecosystems for our archives. This knowledge may prove invaluable for future interspecies collaboration." Emma bowed her head respectfully. "It would be my honor, Chairperson." As she slid her boot back onto her foot, Emma couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. She had once again managed to bridge the gap of understanding between humanity and the wider galaxy, one small step quite literally at a time. The Galactic Council chamber was still buzzing with muted discussions about the peculiarities of human footwear. Emma Williams, now wearing one shoe and standing barefoot on her other foot, couldn't help but notice the mixture of curiosity and skepticism etched across the faces of the council members. Most of the alien representatives seemed fascinated by her explanations, but she could sense that some still dismissed humanity's reliance on shoes as an unnecessary affectation. High Counselor Zorath, ever the skeptic, rose from his coiled position. His scales shimmered in hues that Emma had come to recognize as a mix of curiosity and challenge. "Ambassador Williams," he began in his deep, resonant tone, "while your explanation is fascinating, words alone cannot truly illustrate the necessity of such a peculiar practice. Perhaps a more empirical demonstration is in order." Emma stiffened slightly. She had anticipated some degree of resistance, but the prospect of a demonstration made her uneasy. "What kind of demonstration, High Counselor?" she asked cautiously, slipping her bare foot subtly back into her shoe. Zorath's luminescent eyes fixed on her with an intensity that made her feel like a specimen under observation. "Your species claims to wear these shoes for protection from environmental dangers. Yet here, within the confines of this chamber, there is no danger. Surely, if our floors are as pristine as we pride ourselves on, you would have no need for such protection." Emma glanced down at the chamber's floor. It was a smooth, polished surface that seemed immaculately clean, its reflective sheen suggesting an almost sterile environment. Her hesitation was not lost on the other representatives, and a low murmur rippled through the room. She could feel their eyes on her, waiting for her response. Before she could formulate a reply, Zorath pressed further. "If you were to walk barefoot here, would it not prove that your reliance on shoes is simply a matter of habit rather than necessity? Surely the human body is capable of adapting to a harmless environment such as this." The murmur grew louder, and Emma realized she was cornered. Any refusal would likely be interpreted as an admission that humans were overly cautious or even weak. She took a deep breath and nodded. "Very well, High Counselor." If it will satisfy the council's curiosity, I will oblige." The room fell silent as Emma removed her remaining shoe and stepped barefoot onto the cool, polished floor. A collective hush followed as the council members leaned forward, their expressions ranging from intrigue to disbelief. To them, the sight of a human's bare skin in contact with a foreign surface was almost scandalous. For species whose natural evolution had eliminated the need for physical barriers, the human act of deliberate exposure seemed reckless. Emma took a few tentative steps, her bare feet making soft sounds against the smooth floor. The coolness of the surface was pleasant at first, almost soothing, and she began to feel a flicker of relief. Perhaps this demonstration would indeed prove harmless. She turned to address the council. As you can see, the floor here poses no immediate threat. However, before she could finish, a sharp sting shot through the sole of her right foot. Emma froze, her heart skipping a beat. At first, she thought she might have stepped on something sharp, but when she looked down, there was no visible cause for the sudden pain. The sensation intensified, a tingling burn spreading across her skin. She clenched her teeth, forcing herself to remain calm as she turned back to the council. It seems there is more to this environment than meets the eye. Zorath's scales rippled with shades of surprise and what Emma could only interpret as concern. "Are you implying that there is danger present on our immaculate floors?" he asked, his voice tinged with incredulity. Emma nodded, keeping her expression neutral despite the discomfort that was quickly escalating. "Your floors may appear pristine, but it seems they harbor microorganisms that are imperceptible to the naked eye. These organisms may be harmless to your species, but could interact differently with human biology." The council erupted into a cacophony of reactions. Some representatives expressed shock, while others exchanged worried glances. The chairperson raised a crystalline appendage to restore order, their voice cutting through the din. "Ambassador Williams, are you certain of this claim? Our cleaning systems are among the most advanced in the galaxy, designed to eliminate all forms of contamination." Emma clenched her jaw as another sharp sting coursed through her foot. "With all due respect, Chairperson, no system is perfect. Microorganisms have an incredible ability to adapt and survive, even in the harshest conditions. What may be harmless to one species can be harmful or even deadly to another." The chairperson's crystalline form glinted in contemplation. "We shall summon our medical team to investigate this matter immediately." Within moments, a group of alien medics entered the chamber, their sleek instruments emitting soft hums as they scanned the floor where Emma had walked. The medics, belonging to a species known as the Querith, renowned for their expertise in xenobiology, worked quickly and efficiently. One of them, a tall figure with translucent skin that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, approached Emma. "Ambassador," the medic said in a melodic voice, "we have detected traces of microscopic organisms on the floor. While these are harmless to most known species, their interaction with human physiology appears to be causing a reaction." Emma nodded, her expression remaining calm despite the throbbing pain in her foot. "Thank you for confirming. This is precisely why humans wear shoes. Our world has taught us to anticipate the unexpected and to protect ourselves from dangers that may not be immediately visible." The medic inclined their head respectfully. "We shall treat your condition immediately and conduct further analysis to ensure no lasting harm." As the medics worked, applying a biosanitizing agent to her foot, Emma addressed the council once more. "This incident highlights an important truth: the universe is vast and filled with unknowns. What may seem safe to one species can pose significant risks to another. Humans have learned this lesson through millennia of adapting to the challenges of our environment. Shoes are not just a habit, they are a tool of survival." The chamber fell silent as the council members absorbed her words. Even High Counselor Zorath seemed subdued, his shimmering scales reflecting a more somber hue. Emma could see the shift in their expressions and understanding, perhaps even a newfound respect for the human perspective. The chairperson leaned forward, their voice resonating with authority. "Ambassador Williams, your demonstration has proven most enlightening. It is a reminder that even in our pursuit of unity, we must remain mindful of the diversity that defines us. Your experience shall be documented and studied to ensure the safety of all species within this council." Emma inclined her head in gratitude. "Thank you, Chairperson. I hope this serves as a step toward greater understanding and collaboration." As the medics finished their treatment, Emma slipped her shoes back on, the familiar comfort a reminder of humanity's ingenuity and resilience. Though the pain in her foot lingered, she felt a sense of accomplishment. She had once again bridged the gap between Earth and the stars, proving that even the smallest details of human life could hold profound lessons for the galaxy. The Galactic Council chamber was abuzz with muted conversations, the air thick with a mix of fascination and unease. Emma Williams, now seated at a small podium with her treated foot carefully tucked inside her polished boot, observed the assembly. She could tell that the events of the demonstration had profoundly unsettled many of the representatives. The notion that their meticulously controlled environments could harbor unseen dangers had struck a chord. Yet, the most profound impact came from their realization of humanity's constant battle against the invisible threats of Earth. The crystalline chairperson raised a glowing appendage, calling for order. "Ambassador Williams, we request further explanation regarding these microorganisms you speak of. Your experience today suggests that there is much we do not understand about your home planet." Emma rose, steadying herself on the podium. She had anticipated this moment and prepared to delve deeper into Earth's complex ecosystem, a topic that, though mundane to her, could fundamentally reshape the Council's perception of humanity. "Honorable members of the Council," she began, her voice steady, "what you witnessed today is a glimpse into the intricate and often dangerous world of Earth's microscopic life. While your own environments may be largely free of such threats, Earth is a planet where every surface, every breath of air, and every drop of water teems with life both visible and invisible." The chamber grew quiet, the weight of her words sinking in. Many of the alien species present had evolved in environments where microbial life was either benign or carefully controlled by natural or technological means. The idea that a planet could be so thoroughly saturated with potential dangers was both alien and disturbing. Emma continued, her tone measured and deliberate. "Earth's microorganisms, though invisible to the naked eye, are among the most resilient and adaptable forms of life in the universe. They exist in numbers that defy comprehension, trillions upon trillions, inhabiting every conceivable niche. They thrive in our oceans, in our soil, in the air we breathe, and even within our bodies." A ripple of murmurs spread through the chamber. Representatives exchanged glances, some visibly unsettled by the thought of a world so densely populated by unseen entities. Zorath, ever the skeptic, leaned forward. "Ambassador Williams," he interjected, his scales shifting to a deep, contemplative blue, "if these microorganisms are as pervasive as you claim, how does your species survive such an environment?" Emma allowed herself a small smile, her confidence growing. "Adaptation, High Counselor. Humanity has evolved alongside these microorganisms for millions of years. Our immune systems are our first line of defense, a complex network of cells and proteins that identify and neutralize harmful invaders. But evolution alone is not enough. Over time, we have developed tools and practices to protect ourselves, such as the very shoes you questioned earlier." She paused, scanning the room to gauge their reactions. Most of the council members seemed captivated, their expressions a mix of awe and concern. Encouraged, she pressed on. "However, not all microorganisms are harmful. Many are vital to our survival. For example, certain bacteria in our digestive systems help us break down food and absorb nutrients. Others enrich our soil, allowing plants to grow and sustain life. This delicate balance is what makes Earth's ecosystem both remarkable and treacherous." The crystalline chairperson tilted their head, their form refracting light like a prism. "Ambassador, you speak of balance, yet the dangers you describe seem overwhelming. How does humanity maintain equilibrium in such an environment?" Emma nodded, appreciating the insightful question. "We maintain it through vigilance and innovation. Over centuries, we've learned to identify the threats and mitigate them. Take, for example, infectious diseases. Before the discovery of microorganisms, illnesses were attributed to superstition or bad luck. It wasn't until the advent of microbiology, our ability to see these invisible threats, that we began to understand their true nature." She gestured toward the medical team, who had discreetly stationed themselves near the edges of the chamber. "Our scientists developed techniques to combat these threats: sterilization, antibiotics, vaccines. These advances have saved billions of lives and allowed us to thrive in environments that would otherwise be lethal." The chamber erupted into a cacophony of whispers and clicks as the council members absorbed this information. The Vren delegation, a species known for their ultrasonic communication, emitted a series of high-pitched whistles that resonated through the room. The chairperson silenced the assembly with a raised appendage, allowing Emma to continue. "Yet, even with all our advancements, we are not invincible," she admitted, her tone growing somber. "New threats emerge constantly. Microorganisms evolve, becoming resistant to our defenses. This ongoing battle has taught us humility and vigilance. We know that we cannot conquer nature, we can only coexist with it." Sorath's scales rippled with a hue of grudging respect. "Your species' ability to adapt is indeed remarkable. But tell us, Ambassador, are there specific examples of these invisible threats that highlight the ingenuity you speak of?" Emma nodded, already anticipating the question. "There are many. Allow me to share one particularly striking example: the parasitic worm known as Ancylostoma duodenale, or the hookworm. This tiny organism thrives in warm, moist soil and can burrow into human skin upon contact. Once inside the body, it travels through the bloodstream to the lungs, then to the intestines, where it feeds on blood. Without proper treatment, it can cause severe anemia and even death." The chamber fell silent, the weight of her words palpable. Emma continued, her voice steady. "In regions where hookworms are prevalent, people learned to wear shoes not out of habit, but out of necessity. It was a simple but effective barrier, a testament to humanity's ability to adapt to even the smallest of adversaries." Another murmur spread through the room, this one tinged with admiration. The chairperson leaned forward, their crystalline surface glinting in the light. "Your story illustrates a profound resilience, Ambassador Williams. It seems your species has mastered the art of survival in a world that others might find uninhabitable." Emma inclined her head respectfully. "Thank you, Chairperson. But I must emphasize that our survival is not just a matter of ingenuity. It is also a matter of perspective. We do not see these microorganisms solely as threats. We see them as part of the greater web of life, a web that sustains us even as it challenges us." The chairperson nodded, their tone reflective. "A perspective that we, as a council, would do well to consider. Your experience today has illuminated not only the dangers of Earth but also the adaptability and ingenuity of its people. We thank you for sharing this knowledge, Ambassador." Emma bowed her head, her heart swelling with a sense of accomplishment. She had turned what could have been a moment of humiliation into an opportunity to showcase humanity's resilience and resourcefulness. As she returned to her seat, she could feel the eyes of the council upon her, not with skepticism, but with newfound respect. The chairperson's voice rang out, bringing the session to a close. "Let this serve as a reminder to us all that even the smallest details of a species' existence can hold profound lessons for the galaxy." We adjourn with gratitude for Ambassador Williams's insights. As the assembly dispersed, Emma remained seated for a moment, reflecting on the day's events. She knew that the journey of understanding between humanity and the galaxy was far from over. But today she had taken a significant step, one that would echo far beyond the walls of the council chamber. The Galactic Council chamber had returned to its usual hum of quiet deliberation, but a new tension hung in the air. The demonstration and Emma's subsequent explanation had planted seeds of doubt in the minds of the representatives. The possibility that their own meticulously sanitized environments could harbor unseen threats was unsettling. For species unaccustomed to such dangers, the concept was nearly unthinkable. For others, it raised questions about the limits of their own knowledge. As the chairperson called the session back to order, a group of Quereth scientists renowned across the galaxy for their expertise in microbiology and environmental analysis entered the chamber. Their translucent forms pulsed with soft bioluminescent colors as they carried advanced instruments capable of detecting even the most minute biological particles. The council had tasked them with investigating Emma's claim and determining whether their pristine environment was as flawless as they had always believed. The lead scientist, Dr. Virex, stepped forward. Her voice, a melodic hum, resonated through the chamber. "Honorable members of the council, we have conducted preliminary scans of the chamber floor and surrounding environment, focusing on the areas where the human ambassador walked barefoot. The results are unexpected." A collective ripple of unease spread through the room. The chairperson gestured for silence, their crystalline form refracting light in calming waves. "Proceed, Dr. Virex." Dr. Virex raised a slender appendage, and a holographic projection materialized in the center of the chamber. The image displayed a microscopic view of organisms, tiny, wriggling forms that seemed both alien and alive. What you see here are microorganisms detected on the chamber floor. These organisms are harmless to most known species but appear to interact uniquely with human biology, causing the reaction experienced by Ambassador Williams. Emma observed the projection with a mix of fascination and vindication. She had long suspected that even the cleanest environments were not truly sterile, but to see such tangible evidence in the heart of the council chamber was striking. Dr. Virex continued, her tone growing more serious. These microorganisms are not indigenous to the council's facilities. They were likely introduced through interstellar traffic carried unknowingly on the bodies or possessions of visitors from other worlds. While our cleaning systems eliminate the majority of contaminants, these particular organisms exhibit extraordinary resilience. They form biofilms that adhere to surfaces, making them nearly impervious to standard sterilization methods. The room erupted into a cacophony of voices. Representatives expressed disbelief, concern, and, in some cases, indignation. The idea that their sacred and supposedly perfect chamber could harbor such intrusions was almost blasphemous to some. The chairperson raised their crystalline hand once more, their voice cutting through the noise. Order. Dr. Virex, are you suggesting that our cleaning systems are insufficient? Dr. Virex inclined her head respectfully. Not insufficient, chairperson, but perhaps too focused on known contaminants. These organisms are novel and have likely evolved to survive in the harsh conditions of interstellar transit. They are a testament to the adaptability of life across the galaxy. Counselor Zorax, who had remained silent since the demonstration, finally spoke. His scales shimmered with a hue of embarrassment and grudging respect. It seems we have underestimated the complexity of the microbial world. Ambassador Williams's warnings were not only justified but prophetic. Emma met Zorath's gaze, her expression calm but resolute. High Counselor, this discovery underscores a truth that humanity has long understood: the universe is teeming with life in forms both visible and invisible. To assume we are immune to its influence is a dangerous oversight. The chairperson nodded solemnly. Dr. Virex, what measures can be taken to address this issue? It is imperative that the Council's facilities remain safe for all species. Dr. Virex's bioluminescence pulsed rhythmically as she considered the question. We must first fully understand these organisms, their biology, their modes of survival, and their potential interactions with other species. This will require extensive research and collaboration with microbiologists from across the galaxy. Additionally, we may need to develop new sterilization technologies capable of targeting these resilient forms of life. The chairperson turned to Emma, their crystalline form glinting with an almost reverent light. Ambassador Williams, your experience has brought this matter to our attention. Would you and your scientific community be willing to assist in this endeavor? Emma inclined her head. It would be an honor, chairperson. Humanity has centuries of experience studying microorganisms and developing methods to combat their threats. I believe our knowledge can complement the expertise of the Quereth and other species. The chamber buzzed with muted approval. Representatives from various delegations signaled their agreement, recognizing the value of interspecies collaboration. For the first time, the Council seemed unified in their determination to address a common challenge. Dr. Virex resumed her presentation, shifting the holographic projection to display a timeline of proposed actions. Our first priority will be to isolate and culture these microorganisms in a controlled environment. This will allow us to study their behavior and vulnerabilities. Concurrently, we will develop protocols for enhanced environmental monitoring to ensure that similar organisms are detected and contained before they pose a threat. The chairperson's voice carried a tone of finality as they addressed the assembly. Let this be a lesson to us all: the pursuit of unity and progress requires vigilance and humility. We must never assume that our knowledge is complete or that our systems are infallible. Ambassador Williams, your insights have illuminated a path forward, and for that, we are grateful. Emma rose to her feet, her confidence bolstered by the chairperson's words. Thank you, chairperson. It is my hope that this collaboration will not only protect the members of this council but also deepen our understanding of the interconnectedness of life across the galaxy. As the session adjourned, representatives from various delegations approached Emma, their initial skepticism replaced with respect and curiosity. Some asked about Earth's history with microorganisms, while others inquired about humanity's strategies for balancing survival with coexistence. Emma answered their questions patiently, feeling a sense of accomplishment that went beyond personal pride. She had not only defended humanity's practices but had also forged a bridge of understanding that would benefit all species. The discovery of the microorganisms in the council chamber was a reminder that even the most advanced civilizations could learn from one another, and that the smallest forms of life could hold the greatest lessons. As she left the chamber, Emma couldn't help but reflect on the irony of the situation. The very organisms that had once been dismissed as inconsequential had now become the catalyst for one of the most significant moments in the Council's history. It was a humbling reminder of the complexity and wonder of the universe and of humanity's place within it. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with subdued energy as representatives began to process the enormity of the situation. Emma Williams, the human ambassador, had inadvertently sparked a profound revelation about the unseen dangers of interstellar environments. While the Quereth scientists delved deeper into their analysis of the resilient microorganisms, the broader implications of their discovery began to unfold among the council members. For Emma, it was a moment of quiet triumph, though tempered by the realization of the challenges that lay ahead. The chairperson, their crystalline form refracting the chamber's soft light, raised an appendage to call for silence. Their voice resonated with solemn authority. Honorable members, today's events have illuminated the complexity of our shared existence. Ambassador Williams's experience reminds us of the interconnectedness of all life forms, from the grandest civilizations to the smallest microorganisms. Let us conclude this session with reflection and a renewed commitment to unity. Emma rose to address the chamber, her voice steady but tinged with emotion. Esteemed council members, it has been an honor to share humanity's experiences with you. Today's discovery is not just a testament to the resilience of life on Earth, but a reminder of the challenges we all face as we strive for unity in an ever-expanding galaxy. She paused, allowing her words to settle. Humanity has learned, often the hard way, that survival depends on our ability to adapt, collaborate, and respect the forces beyond our control. The microorganisms discovered here today are a microcosm of the universe itself, unpredictable, interconnected, and filled with potential for both harm and growth. Our strength lies in our ability to confront these challenges together. The chamber fell silent as her words resonated with the assembly. Even High Counselor Zorath, whose initial skepticism had been palpable, inclined his serpentine head in acknowledgement. His scales shimmered with a hue that Emma recognized as reluctant respect. Ambassador Williams, he began, his voice low and deliberate, your species has shown a resilience that I underestimated. Today I have learned that even the smallest details of life, what we once dismissed as inconsequential, can carry profound lessons. Emma nodded, appreciating the weight of his words. Thank you, High Counselor. I believe that today's revelations can serve as a foundation for greater understanding among all species. The chairperson motioned for Dr. Virex to step forward. The Quereth scientist's bioluminescent patterns pulsed in rhythmic waves as she addressed the council. Our analysis of the microorganisms found in this chamber has yielded fascinating insights. These organisms are indeed novel, and their ability to form biofilms suggests an evolutionary adaptation to survive extreme conditions, such as interstellar travel. While harmless to most species, their impact on human biology highlights the importance of understanding the diversity of life across different planets and ecosystems. She paused, her translucent form glowing with a soft green light that indicated curiosity. We propose the establishment of a new research initiative, the Intergalactic Microbial Collaborative. This initiative will bring together scientists from all member species to study microorganisms from across the galaxy, with a focus on understanding their biology, potential threats, and benefits. The proposal was met with widespread approval. Representatives from various delegations voiced their support, their tones ranging from cautious optimism to outright enthusiasm. Emma felt a swell of pride as she realized the ripple effect of her experience. What had begun as a simple misunderstanding about human footwear had now evolved into a groundbreaking initiative that could benefit countless civilizations. The chairperson's voice rang out, calm yet resolute. The Intergalactic Microbial Collaborative is hereby approved. Ambassador Williams, we invite humanity to play a leading role in this endeavor, given your species' extensive experience with microbial life. Emma inclined her head, her voice filled with gratitude. Thank you, Chairperson. Humanity is honored to contribute to this initiative. We believe that by pooling our knowledge and resources, we can address these challenges and deepen our understanding of the universe. As the session adjourned, representatives began to disperse, many approaching Emma to express their newfound respect and curiosity about humanity's experiences. A member of the Vren delegation, whose ultrasonic communication had earlier caused ripples of skepticism, now emitted a series of high-pitched tones that their translator rendered as admiration. Ambassador Williams, your story of resilience and ingenuity is inspiring. We look forward to learning more from your species. Even High Counselor Zoroth approached her, his scales reflecting a subdued but genuine hue of humility. Ambassador, I must admit that I underestimated your people. Today I have seen not just resilience, but a willingness to face the unknown with courage. That is a quality we can all aspire to. Emma smiled, extending her hand in a gesture of interspecies camaraderie. Thank you, High Counselor. I hope today marks the beginning of a deeper understanding between our species. As the chamber emptied, Emma lingered for a moment, reflecting on the day's events. What had started as a simple explanation of human habits had grown into something far greater, a shared commitment to addressing the challenges of the universe together. She felt a profound sense of purpose, knowing that humanity's place in the galaxy was not defined by its technology or strength, but by its capacity to adapt, collaborate, and learn. In the days that followed, the Intergalactic Microbial Collaborative was officially established, with humanity taking a prominent role. Scientists and researchers from across the galaxy worked together to study the microorganisms discovered in the council chamber, uncovering not only their potential dangers but also their surprising benefits. Some of the organisms were found to produce compounds with medicinal properties, sparking new breakthroughs in interstellar medicine. For Emma, the experience became a cornerstone of her tenure as ambassador. Her efforts to bridge the gap between humanity and the wider galaxy were recognized not just by the Council, but by her own people, who saw her as a symbol of humanity's ability to thrive in even the most challenging circumstances. As she stood on the observation deck of the Council's orbital station, gazing out at the endless expanse of stars, Emma felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and filled with challenges. But it was also a place of boundless potential, a place where even the smallest forms of life could inspire the greatest lessons. With renewed determination, Emma turned away from the viewport and returned to her duties, ready to face whatever the universe had in store. She knew that humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning, and she was proud to play a part in shaping its future.